The Galactic Sovereignty Council had seen 10,000 worlds. They had catalogued species that breathed methane, creatures that stood 40 feet tall, civilizations that had mastered faster-than-light travel before humans had discovered fire. So when Commander Vreth of the Karivan Empire presented his preliminary scan of the third planet in Sector Sol 7, the chamber erupted in something that translated, loosely, into laughter. Soft-bodied, Vreth announced, gesturing toward the holographic display. Bilateral symmetry. Fragile skeletal structure. No natural armor. No venom. No enhanced sensory arrays. He flicked the data aside like garbage. They call themselves humans. Average lifespan of approximately 70 of their planetary cycles. Completely unremarkable. High Chancellor Dorvan leaned back in his throne seat, 6 of his 8 eyes half closed with boredom. Mark them as a Class 3 primitive civilization. Send a diplomatic vessel. Perhaps they can be taxed for agricultural output. Admiral Ressa of the Valori Collective agreed with a slow, clicking nod. Weak prey rarely causes problems. We absorb them, we move on. Not one voice objected. The decision was made in under 4 minutes. Nobody thought to run a full atmospheric scan. The Karivan diplomatic vessel Endless Patience dropped out of warp on a Tuesday morning, Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Marcus Webb was eating a gas station sandwich in a NASA observation room in Houston when every alarm in the building went off simultaneously. He had spent 11 years preparing for first contact. He had written papers, built protocols, rehearsed speeches. He stood up, looked at the radar screen showing a ship roughly the size of a football stadium hovering over the Atlantic, and said, very quietly, "Oh. Okay. Here we go." Within 6 hours, a translation had been established through radio frequency exchange. The aliens, to their credit, were patient communicators. The Karivan diplomat, a creature named Envoy Sarakul, transmitted a single opening message: "You are to be integrated into the sovereignty. Resistance is statistically inadvisable. Your biological limitations make conflict pointless." Marcus stared at the message for a long moment. Then he typed back, "We'd like to discuss the terms." Sarakul interpreted this as submission. He prepared the integration paperwork. Protocol required a full planetary survey before formal integration, a bureaucratic step that Sarakul's science officer, young Karivan named Tessav, carried out with mechanical routine. He aimed the deep atmospheric scanner at Earth and began cataloging. The first results came back normal. Nitrogen. Oxygen. Carbon dioxide. Trace gases. Then Tessav frowned with his secondary face. He ran the scan again. He called Sarakul to the science deck. "This can't be right," Tessav said, pointing at the readouts with a trembling appendage. "The oxygen concentration, it's at 21%. Sustained. Planetary-wide." Sarakul studied the numbers. That's nearly combustion-level saturation." "Yes." Tessav pulled up a biological cross-reference file. "Sir, these organisms evolved inside this atmosphere. They breathe this. They were built by it. Do you understand what that means?" Sarakul understood. Every species in the sovereignty kept oxygen levels below 14% in enclosed environments, because above 17, materials became dangerously flammable, reaction speed skyrocketed, and biological processes accelerated to frightening levels. The Karivan themselves functioned on 9%. Humans lived their entire lives at 21. Tessav continued, his voice dropping low. "I cross-referenced their muscle fiber density. They're adrenaline-equivalent compounds. Sir. Under physical stress, these creatures don't slow down. They accelerate. Their pain tolerance data is..." He paused. "I don't have a reference point for it. Nothing in our database compares." Sarakul was quiet for a very long time. Back in Houston, Marcus Webb received a new transmission from Endless Patience. The tone had shifted. The confidence was gone. We would like to revisit the terms of integration. As equals. Marcus leaned back in his chair and smiled slowly. Around him, his team exchanged glances, confused, cautious, and quietly thrilled. He typed back, "We thought you'd come around." On the Carivan vessel, Sarah Cole read the response and felt something unfamiliar crawl through his nervous system. The closest translation in his language was dread. He looked again at the atmospheric readout. 21% oxygen. Sustained. Everywhere. For millions of years. These creatures hadn't survived despite living in a near-combustible atmosphere. They had thrived in it. He closed the integration paperwork and opened a new file. He labeled it, "Do not provoke."